Aloha everyone, this is Z808 and I want to welcome you to my first episode of Langrisser Mobile Season 6 Apex Arena Matches Review. Whew, that was a mouthful. Season 5 was a very frustrating season for many players due to the debuff meta. In fact, I know at least 2 people in my guild had quit the game partly due to this. However, I predict that with the addition of Rosenseal joining the ranks recently, the meta will shift dramatically in the following weeks. I made some big plans for Season 6, trust me. But since most players does not have a 6-star Rosenseal yet, I have decided to use a Season 5 meta box for the first weekend and then see what happens in the upcoming weeks. As you can see, I was somewhat successful in my games and made it to Gold 2 rank. With the win rate of 78%, could be better. And unfortunately, I had to work extra over the weekend plus family time. I was only able to play during the first bracket for both days. I felt I could have done better in most of my games. I will share a very embarrassing mistake in one of my games, and I will also take the opportunity to remind everyone of some recommendations. Finally, I want to share 3 games in which I felt is worth highlighting. So let's begin with the embarrassing mistake. And the mistake is right here. I call it basic fail, and let's take a look. I mean, it's pretty bad, pretty bad. Pick ban, I felt I think I did pretty good, so I'm just gonna skip the pick ban and let's take a look at what we end up with instead. So my opponent has Landius, Yusuke, Licorice, Weiler, and Sophia. So 2 healers, 1 AoE, a single target, and a tank. Nothing spectacular, pretty good synergy. I have Landius, I also have Lico, but I felt like I had the advantage of having Joshua and Zarita, plus I had TRS to make sure I was able to get some kills, or at least I thought I did. So if you were quick enough to catch where my mistake was, is actually this right here. So if you look at my Zarita, I'm using Killing Blow, Shadow Ray, Backstab. Of course, Licorice brought Fraction buff, right? No Fraction buff on Lico. That's because I was thinking of using Fraction buff on Zarita for herself and Joshua, and so what happened here? So the embarrassing mistake was because I was doing Guild Wars and I was doing Outer Guild Wars, and I had 2 skills on Zarita, and yeah, so my recommendation, please, before you start your Apex games, before you do anything else, before you even go into the Apex screen, challenge screen, just go through your heroes, double check their equipment. I have made a mistake on that as well, where I was swapping equipments around, and it was some crazies. I think at one game where I had a juggler missing an accessory or some crazy stuff like that, or missing the last right because I was giving it to another Auto Miller or something like that. But anyways, double check to make sure you have the right equipment. Double check to make sure you have the normal skills that you feel you will use for Apex Arena, because if not, you end up something like this. And although I feel like I won the pick ban with 1 skill missing, I lost the fight. I'm not even gonna play it because it was so silly. It was just so silly. Yeah, please take that as a word of advice. Okay, so with that said, I want to highlight the 3 games And of the 3 games I want to highlight, the first one is with Nitro, another Langrisser mobile YouTuber, and I must admit, I'm one of his fans. I have been watching his videos for both PvE and PvP content for about 2 years now. I'm giving a shout out to you, Nitro, for all your great work. With that said, let's take a look at our game. And as you can see in my little comment here, I put fan because I am a fan. I'm your fanboy. Okay, so let's take a look at the game. And I know your game, so I know I didn't know who it was at the time because we don't know who we're fighting. But after you complete the pick ban and I saw who it was that I was challenging, it sort of makes sense on how the pick ban kind of went. And one thing I did notice with the pick ban is I believe you ban at least one healer on the second one and the second pick. And I think I on purpose did not pick a healer and second pick Liko. And of course you're gonna ban all my healers. And it's okay, and we'll see why. So you pick ODS. ODS is super strong again, especially when you get double Landius like that. In a normal circumstance, it's crazy. But you know what? I was first player. I was just gonna go YOLO it. Landius, Liko, bring in Luna, one of my favorite characters. Bring in Joshua, my princess combo, and I was hoping I could have Ares, but unfortunately I didn't. So instead of picking Zarita, I went with the Yuzaraf. So let's stop here real quick. So looking at both teams, I had somewhat of a healer, not really, but I have 1, 2, 3 AoE, enabler, and a tank. On my opponent's team, actually it's super nice because you have a Lancer Landius which already counters my horse Landius. You have another ODS which you can push people around, override my Licorice. Also have his own Licorice, we can override my Licorice on the ground. Bozo and Liko is just crazy strong, and with Rewind on Sophia, I mean, just looking at this pick ban, I would assume that he had the advantage. And that is exactly the reason why I played the way I did. So, let's take a look what I did. Running with Landius. Charging in. He came back. He has a Lancer. Soldier Lancer Landius against my horse. Soldier horse Landius, and obviously my horse Landius is gonna do nothing to his. Had Luna do her setup, coming in with Yuzaraf, and not much. Yes, that's because I have a plan. So he did that, and I just want to test the water to see if he has bracer, no bracer, any of the units. Of course, he's gonna heal up. Not too much. If you look at that, I mean, only about 50% life, and this is 60. So, yeah, that heal was rather weak because no fraction buff, and this is her first initial heal, so they didn't get her healing, her talent from her talent yet. So the first initial heal, very important. I did a lot of damage. He didn't recover as much. So that's big right there. The other part that to keep in mind is he already moved both Liko and Sage, which means I now have the opportunity to put a ground and override his. So that's exactly what I did. Charging with Licorice. Did a little tickle. And oh look, his Liko is dead. Sorry, Nitro. Turn 2. Bring in my 3C with my my little bot there. Ain't gonna do much damage, but it's okay because the bot's job is to slowly grind them up. So the 3C gave him no buff is able to put on Bozo, silenced, and put in a whole bunch of other debuffs on him. No active, silence, damage that was decreased, defense is decreased. It's always heal block on Sage. So that Gizaroff 3C did some. But I don't know if this heal block was from the bot. Actually, it could have been from. No, it has to be from the bot because Nico wasn't able to reach him. So very dangerous. And this little thing here where it says, what did I do here? Self-destruct his turn at end of do damage. Okay, so he only did damage and didn't do the debuff. Okay, never mind. So, but anyways, the Sage is heal blocked, which is very important. Heal off my bot, but the bot already did his job and do more damage. Now I have Joshua follow up, keeping them low. Got slept, which is okay. And jump in, follow up with Licorice. Yep, look at that. Still heal block on ODS here. And I just keep on charging. No hose bar. He retreats. But at this point, it really doesn't matter because so if you look at the ground, it's all my debuffs. They're really close to the poison, and I am still gonna go charge full force. And I actually didn't say it earlier, but I didn't bring fraction buff on purpose because I knew I was rushing and I want to be able to do as much AoE as possible. So I brought the Dark Dragon Breath instead on Gizaroff. Charging with Luna. Do some damage, but yeah, that's right. Heal block on Landis. Well, and what the wonderful thing, if you go back here, and I also want to highlight this, is that so ODS is almost dead, 244. So anything that can tickle him, he's gonna die. And that's the reason why on Luna I always bring wind pressure, because that wind pressure dealing that even 0.1 of the hero's attack is huge. And as you can see, it allowed me to finish him off, which also means that he's gonna dispel everybody else and make the ground horrible. But at this point, I didn't care. I just want to pressure him so that he can't do anything. I want to keep on killing all his units. And Bozo against Luna is not gonna do much. And that's where the winning mistake, well, not the winning mistake, I guess it helped me to win, but that's when he made the mistake of moving his Bozo forward and losing the game. Because now at this point, he has a tank and a healer. I still have 5 of my units. It's game over. If he didn't move his Bozo here, I should not have been able to reach him, I think. Yeah, see, if you look at my because of ODS ground effects. But anyways, I think he was pretty frustrated in my aggressiveness, and it has ended with him making, I think at least it's a mistake, and maybe he wasn't trying to suicide. But it is, yeah, game over. Well, thank you for the match, Nitro. Hope we get to chat sometimes. Anyways, second, I want to highlight a fight against Rosenseal using a debuff AoE team. That's right, you heard me. A debuff AoE team, and I have specifically called this Rosenfell. So let's take a look at the game. And with all due respect, this has nothing to do with my opponent, so please don't feel like I'm dissing my opponent, but I'm just stating what happened in the fight and how it went on, and has nothing to do with the player that I'm facing. Just want to be clear of that. But it was very weird to me in that the first ban was Zarita. It could be because Zarita has her new 3C, which makes her super deadly, but still didn't quite understand that ban. And for some odd reason, normally if I have Juggler, I automatically pick Juggler. but I mean that Zarita ban caught me off guard, and for some silly reason I picked Landius. But yeah, whatever. I should have. I mean, after I did that, I was like, oh my god, why didn't I pick Juggler? But whatever. Pretty Ares and those two bans were pretty standard. He picks Landius, and then I banned Odious because I just didn't want to face double Landius, and looking at his box, Ares was one of the long-legged people, and looking the rest of his box, I really didn't see much. Except I do see a lot of AoE, right? Shafanio, and because of Shafin and Luna, that's why he has Yulia. He has Gospel here. And Gospel here, so a lot of reasons to use Yulia most likely. But anyways, let's keep on going. So I picked Liko. I'm still doing my season 5 thing. Yeah, that's when Juggler got banned, and that's when that Rosenseal pick came in. I was okay, I'm good with that. Here comes Luna. Let's do it. Let's do it. Ban more of my AoEs. Picks Yulia. I mean, that's a pretty smart pick, right? Because if Yulia cannot be silenced or debuff, she is super strong. And I didn't want them to have Rachel for the AoE and the extra healing. And I didn't want him to have long legs, so I banned Luna. I know that it is possible for my opponent to have Shafanio and even Liana for the buffs, but it's okay. I was okay with it. I'm still going with my rush team. So there goes my normal 2 healers, and I have decided, why heal when you can bum rush, right? Yeah, that's right. Who needs healing anyways? So on my opponent's team, there is the princess all the way, and Tiaris. I don't know why Tiaris didn't make sense to me. Maybe my opponent is thinking that my double AoE might have done something. I just didn't see why the Tiaris pick, because it could be because of blessing for Yulia. I mean, Lana would have been a better pick. I would have went for Lana, but anyways, because or it could be because the opponent didn't feel like Rosenseal was going to be able to hold her own weight. I didn't know. I didn't know for sure, but I have my plan, right? I'm going full on attack. So first thing, I was gonna say something, but I'll leave it out for now. Let's watch the game. So first thing, right off the bat, based on what just happened, I did look at my opponent's Rosenseal. So intel quite low, 783. Let's see here, by AoE taking 15%. I know the talent, her talent is bugged right now. Even a 4-star Rosenseal says that all friendly units says within one block will get the stack and whatnot, but it's actually not true. It's actually 2 blocks. The talent description is incorrect. We have tested this with our guildies. However, the restore 1.5%, I believe at that point I thought it was probably a 4-star, not a 6. Well, definitely not a 6. So I was like, okay, intel not that high, so heals won't be that good, and HP is pretty decent though. But I didn't care. I'm just gonna do my thing. Rushing in with Landius and Bozo. Here comes Yulia. Luna is incoming. With the Wrath. Pointing about to say, hey, I'm not scared of you. I got Rosenseal. I'm just gonna charge right back in. It's okay, fine. Let's do it. Let's do it. Buff everyone up. So after getting faction buff, it's still below 1,000. So that's quite low, to be honest. But it could be because, well, I mean, it's literally the first weekend Rosenseal has been available to us, so can't blame them. But yeah, it's okay. Well, if you're gonna let me hit you, then I'm gonna hit you back. I didn't debuff anything, but it's okay. I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna out debuff you and out damage you. That's my plan. Here comes Bozo. Oh yeah. Oh, I saw someone got. Oh, I saw. Oh, I see a lot of debuffs. Oh my goodness. And why in the world did she not use her 3C? Did she not bring it? Mass Crystal War right here. Yeah, why? I mean, that didn't make sense. I don't know if that was a misplay there. But why didn't she 3C just now? Okay, anyways, but if you look at debuff, that's a lot of debuffs. A couple. That's a lot of debuffs. That's a lot of debuffs, and that's a lot of debuffs. So I was like, let's keep going. More debuffs for you. That's gonna hurt. Oh, there goes TRS and a clock, and yeah. Not sure why she didn't 3C. I mean, if she 3C, could have made a difference. I think at least TRS would have survived. But anyways, thank you for the match. It is possible to overwhelm them if you rush with against Rosenseal. All depends on your win condition, knowing your win condition, and making sure you have the right turn order. I hope you enjoyed that one. Anyways, I certainly did. Okay, so lastly, I want to show how a Suicide Zarita handles a Bozo. So I put here strong Bozo. What does that mean? Okay. I think pick ban on this one was pretty straightforward. I always ban Juggler. I did see a Rosenseal, but I wasn't worried because I felt that I could handle at least for the first weekend. But I did ban her because one of my guildie faced another opponent, and he said that that person had a 6-star Rosenseal. So after that, I thought maybe I should start banning her. So I did. So here comes Landius. Pretty standard bans there, Ares and RNG King. He picked Ares. I felt it's okay. Still gonna go with my Licorice. Lico. She's gotta love her, so cute. So that player was quite good. So he left me with Bozo, but did ban Luna, my enabler, and Shafanio. I'm not sure why Shafanio, but maybe he's trying to ban her faction buffers. But you know, I did have 3, so I wasn't worried. Oh, and I did have Shafanio in the box on purpose. On this weekend, I didn't have. I think on the last game I showed, she wasn't in my box. So, yep, take care of some of their AOEs. It's okay if they get single target. I make sure I had a faction buffer. They pick Zarita, our lovely Suicide Zarita. And Zaritas are strong. I'm not dissing Zarita. Zarita is still the queen of assassin and very strong, very strong. I still have my AoEs. So with Gizaroff, that allowed Zarita to go full on from turn 1, which is quite dangerous because starting from point 2, he then can rush with Ares to reposition me and possibly then snipe anybody with Zarita. No healer per se, but somewhat of a healer. I think D-Lit can be, right? So which is fine. And I believe I went with 3 AoEs, and instead of D-Lit this time, I went with Tiaris. Now, why did I pick Tiaris? I don't remember why I picked Tiaris, but it was the right choice, and you have to see why. You will see why. So here we go. Here comes Landius, slowly edging forward. I said, okay, well, I can slowly edge forward as well. Yep, exact. That's what I've done. Faction buff. This allows Zarita to do her 3C on turn 1, snipe in turn 2. Yep. So I already knew, or at least I predicted that what's going to happen, right? Is that Zarita is going to use her 3C. They have the range. Ares basically move forward, so in the beginning, if he wants to, he can jump in and bring all my and teleport all my units, or possibly snipe a character. And he did bring Noble Charge, so if I didn't position correctly, I can easily lose a one of my heroes. Suicide Zarita, 3C. Oh yeah. Giving crown to Ares as well, which doesn't do much. And Gospel. So I didn't quite understand that because she already had faction buff, right? Yeah, have faction buff, and using Alcazar or Suicide Zarita also prevents from receiving a negative effect to begin with. So using that Gospel has done absolutely nothing for her. In fact, the Gospel effect, it didn't even take place. It's still one turn. So why did my opponent do that? I'm not 100% sure. But if you look at Zarita's stats and buffs right now, so it's 1,444, pretty decent. Also have this damage taken minus 20%, which shouldn't really matter, but because of her talent, she also has not her talent, because of the Alcazar, her crit and crit damage is increased by 30%, which is quite substantial. And because of the 3C, she can move away after killing somebody if for 3 blocks. So okay, so with that said, if you look at the positioning, Zarita actually can reach literally both Liquor and Bozo. Who's the bigger threat? I would kill Lico, but let's see what my opponent choose. So I use Miracle. And oh no, here comes Suicide Zarita suiciding. What the hell? So yeah, Suicide Zarita, right? That's why you call him Suicide Zarita, because she dies. Okay, sorry for the joke there. So what actually happened here? Like I said, pretty good attack, has all the buffs, all the right buffs, ignored soldiers. If you look at my Bozo, it's not that high. I mean, 11,000 HP, that's pretty normal. But I do have 730 defense on Bozo. Plus, I also have the Landis Aura. And I also have Miracle, which reduces damage taken by 15%. And of course, we also have this command, right? To decrease the chance of being critically hit by 30%, which negates her Alcazar, and range damage taken is reduced by another 15%, which is 15 plus 15 is minus 30% damage, which completely negates this right here, right? So basically this this buff right here disappears. 30% crit chance disappears, the increase in damage disappears. So it's purely on now her stats against my stats. 1,444 against 730. But let's take a look at that one more time, but a bit more slowly. So if you look at the attack here, okay, backstab, because I have bracer, doesn't do anything, but there's no crit. So he only did 9,780 damage, and for me, I counter attack in addition to that because of the Crystal Warlocks. It reflected damage, and that basically won me the game. And again, it's the combination, right? It's never one hero that is overpowered, or because I've overpowered enchants. It's because of Bozo, the equipment of the bracer and negating the backstab, the aura from Landius, and Miracle from Tiaris. So all of that has allowed me to kill off with Zarita. With Zarita dead, I mean, there's no way for, I mean, not no way, but with, and he has, you know, Dilit as the main healer, it's very unlikely he's going to be able to do anything against this crazy debuffs and double heals. So my opponent has decided that it's probably time to call it a day. And that's exactly what happened. So what do you think? Sorry about all the sarcasm there, but I did really enjoy that fight. It was short and sweet. And if you want to take a look at my Bozo, I'm gonna be like an open book. I don't care. Let's open it up. Pretty decent. HP not that high. Oh, it's okay. Defense 260. That's right, 260. Magic defense is crap, 267. It's not even 300. I think most people, their standard is at least 300 green magic defense. Why mine is so low? Because you know what, he's a debuffer and he still does decent damage. But you know, if that 260 defense is gonna get me above 700 defense in a PvP match, I can survive a lot more. And Bozo being alive is worth a million heroes. I tell you, he is. I mean, yeah, he's just that strong. And one of my and to kind of end off, I had this really great enchant on his Blessing of Chaos. I was a little worried because before I got the Blessing of Chaos, I was using another piece of equipment. I just want to I don't know what I did with it, but let me take a look. Let me show you the enchant first and why I felt that way. So let me see if I can find the enchant. I was super scared. I was super scared. But let me find the item and let me, I think it was this, no. Here, this one here. So I was using a Galaxy Cloak with 15% HP and 6% magic defense. So I was prioritizing 15% HP. Okay, so 15, 6, oh, and then 10 defense, 10 flat, so which is about 3, maybe about 3%. So which is a pretty decent enchant, right? You have to agree. However, after spending probably close to about 50 SSR clock scrolls, this is what I end up with. Fantastic. 15% HP back. However, now I have 8% magic defense, went up 2%, and 9% defense. So super happy. I know another player got a super like nice enchant, even better than mine, with like 15% magic defense, 10% defense, and 10 plus HP. I think I'm super jealous, but you know what? I still like mine better because I really like the HP and the high defense. Now magic defense could be higher, but so hard. I mean, we have to be honest, right? So difficult to get the 3 stats that you want all on one enchant, and one is max. So Bozo is a happy Bozo. And that's I think I want to stop here. It's been pretty long video so far. If you like my videos, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I would love to hear your thoughts below in the comments if my assessment of my games makes sense. Please have a wonderful week. Aloha.